Fresh fears of a widening West Asia conflict is emerging. Oman briefly suspended crude oil loading operations at its largest oil terminal, Mina Al Fahal, following the explosion near offshore mooring berths. Reuters, citing unnamed sources, reports that the blast was caused by a suspected drone attack. However, authorities have not publicly identified those responsible. It is still unclear when the attack took place. On Wednesday, Iranian state media also reported that Tehran targeted a U.S. military ship hosting a control and command center while it was approaching Iranian territorial waters in the Gulf of Oman. However, the U.S. Central Command has denied Iran's allegations. Mina Al Fahal, located on the Gulf of Oman outside the Strait of Hormuz, is one of the country's most important oil export terminals. Mina Al Fahal is positioned strategically outside the highly volatile Strait of Hormuz, situated on the coast near Muscat. The terminal serves as a primary lifeline for Oman's crude exports, handling between 800,000 and 900,000 barrels per day. Oman has long acted as a back-channel diplomatic mediator between the United States and Iran. Infrastructure disruption on its territory marks a critical escalation in the wider West Asia conflict. Iran knows it needs Oman's cooperation to give any Hormuz fee arrangement credibility. Oman, on the other hand, is aware that it can de-escalate tensions by making sure those fees never harden into an arrangement that is permanent or that looks like a toll. Oman is resisting U.S. pressure to break its links with Iran. It insists that it has only been negotiating with Tehran on a future management system for the Strait of Hormuz that would be compliant with international law. But U.S. President Donald Trump last week, in off-the-cuff remarks, threw Oman into the spotlight. He threatened to bomb Oman, but Muscat has tried to assuage Washington by saying that the Sultanate is opposed to a system of tolls and will uphold the principle of freedom of navigation. At present, Oman is trying to find a formula that gives Iran enough time to claim victory, gives the U.S. enough to avoid acknowledging that any of its red lines were crossed, and gives the global economy and shipping industry enough confidence to believe the strait is reopened.